guys, so today's video I am going to be sharing with you my go-to everyday makeup for dry skin. Now that it's the colder months, I feel like my skin is extra dry and I literally have to change up like my entire makeup routine to accommodate to this. So I figured for all my fellow dry skinned gals out there, I would share how I do everyday makeup to accommodate to my dry skin. So let's go ahead and get started. So obviously skincare is a huge part of this. You want to make sure, especially if you have dry skin, that you're exfoliating and using a very good moisturizer at the very least. Obviously there's other steps in between that, like serums and all that other kind of stuff. So if you guys want to see a full like in-depth video of all the products that I use as far as skincare, leave me a comment in the comment section down below and I can make a video more focused on that. One thing I'm noticing right now in my viewfinder is how sickly this shade of t-shirt is making me look. So don't judge me for that. This is actually my boyfriend's t-shirt. I am literally wearing all my boyfriend's clothes right now. I have been sick as shit for the past few days, like the worst cold imaginable. So needless to say, I am like extra dry, extra dehydrated. My nose is so dry and cracked around here, like I have to like apply moisturizer all day. One thing I like to do before I do anything with my face is to get my lips nice and hydrated. It gives it a chance, you know, for the product to really sink in. That way by the time that I'm done, you know, putting my makeup on and everything, that my lips are prepped for lip color, especially like lipsticks and all that. I try to avoid matte lipsticks right now at this time of year, obviously, because matte lipsticks are very drying. But if I'm really wanting to wear something matte, this is a key step regardless. One thing that I'm loving right now is this Yes to Coconut oil. This is like a cooling lip oil. I recently picked this up at Target and I am loving this. I put this on my lips at night too and like kind of sleep with it on, and it really does a good job of like smoothing out my lips and getting everything hydrated. So right now, that will be my first step. It's not really heavily scented. It's mostly coconut oil, so that's what it smells like. It just smells like natural coconut and it is just slightly cooling. It doesn't tingle or burn, but this is one that I really suggest. So I still like to use a primer. You guys know that my go-to primer for dry skin is the No Poreblem Primer by Touch in Soul. You can get this on Amazon, and I believe Sephora carries it as well. At least they used to. I don't know if they still do, but if you're interested, I will put a link below. So the nice thing about this primer, like I've said before in my other videos, is that it is hydrating but still fills in like fine lines and pores, which is perfect for the winter time when I have dry skin. All right, now that my primer's on, I'm gonna go ahead and actually put on a little bit of concealer first, kind of really over that whole super bright under eye and concealing after my foundation. My main concern is just covering up any blemishes. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of concealing here. I'm using the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. I have mine in the shade Light 20. I'm just gonna prep my eyelids with this as well. To blend this out, I'm using an EcoTools sponge. This came with the larger EcoTools blending sponge. It was like a 2-pack deal. I've heard a lot of people say they feel like the sponge is too stiff. It is a lot more firm than a typical beauty blender, but what I like about that is I think it's perfect for blending concealers. It just, you know, makes for more like precise, more opaque application. I mean, as you can see, it blends out concealer quite effortlessly. Let's move on to the face. I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. Mine is in the shade Buttercream 03. If you guys haven't tried this stuff, oh, do I recommend it. It is so good for dry skin, especially. One of the main ingredients is coconut water. It just makes you, it gives like it's a perfect touch of color. To blend this out, I'm going to be using the Delium Tools Golden Triangle 957 Precision Kabuki. I prefer to use a brush when applying this. It says you can apply it with your hands, which you can. The Complexion Rescue is like a tinted moisturizer, but I just like using a brush so that my hands don't get all yucky. One thing I should say is I actually like to use a dampened brush when I have dry skin. It helps distribute the product a little better over the skin if it's dry, and it's just a lot gentler as well. And as you can see, it just provides a nice wash of coverage, nothing too intense. So believe it or not, I am still going to set the face. I know that sounds crazy, again, because this is for dry skin, but the setting powder I'm going to be using is the La Mer, the powder. This stuff is quite spendy, to the tune of $95 I bought this. It was definitely a splurge purchase, but it has done wonders for my skin. If you have dry, especially more mature skin, this stuff is amazing. Now, I'm not saying to go out and spend powdery $95 on a face powder. I just haven't found one thus far that sets my makeup like this. It doesn't dry out my skin. It leaves my skin still luminous. It does have like some micro reflex in it. It's not glitter, but you can tell that there is some micro reflex in it, which helps keep your skin look dewy and fresh. And I'm using the Morphe E41. So for bronzer, I'm not really going to do a heavy contour for this. I'm going to be trying a new product. I recently ordered the Too Faced, what is this? The Chocolate Gold Soleil Gilded Bronzer. This stuff also was very expensive. To me, I think this is probably the most expensive, second most expensive face powder I have ever bought. After tax, this was $32. A lot of people say that these products were just kind of overhyped possibly, and they just didn't understand that it was launched in the winter time, which I kind of agree. To me, this seems kind of like a spring or summer thing. Like, it's supposed to be glowy and gold, but whatever. I was still drawn to it because I like my skin looking glowy and dewy. So I'm gonna try some of this bronzer. I'm gonna go in with this Delium Tools 980 large powder brush. I like this for bronzer because it's kind of got that tapered edge to it, but still fluffy. I'm gonna dip into this. We will see if this product is any good. Okay, that is beautiful. And it blended pretty effortlessly too. Did go in a little bit heavy. It's very pigmented. I'm gonna go in a little bit less on this side. Oh my god, I love it. It's so shimmery and like golden. Usually I don't like shimmer bronzers. It's definitely something that you have to have taste in. I feel like I went a little heavy on this side, so I'm gonna dip back into my La Mer translucent powder and try to blend some of that out. There we go. But it is really pretty, you guys. It's like not like glittery, but it like has like this, like it's gold. Like it just has like this gilded gold look, just like it says, and it sits really nice in the skin. It's supposed to be long wearing, so I'm really curious as to see how long this lasts. Let's go ahead and move on to a little bit of blush. I'm gonna be using the Essence Satin Touch. I have this in the shade Satin Love. One thing I like about this is that it does have, it's a satin finish, so it has a little bit of shimmer, not shimmer, it's not shimmery at all, I shouldn't say that. It's like, it's satin. I'm gonna use a Delium Tools Slanted Blusher Brush, number 962. I like to brush upwards because it gives the effect of more prominent raised cheekbones. Just love this color. And you guys, this stuff does wear a long time and it's super inexpensive. And then the last step for face, I'm going to go ahead and put on some highlighter. We are going to use the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter in the shade Molten Gold. And then I'm going to go in with the 945 Contour Brush by Delium Tools. So you guys can see I'm pretty much obsessed with this brush line. It's like the nicest brushes I've ever used. I don't want to go too heavy on the highlight. I kind of want to keep it very minimal since I use such a shimmery bronzer that I really don't need to go heavy onto the highlight. I'm just going to very gently touch on the tops of my cheekbones. I'm really into the more gold, glowy look right now. Alright, so I'm not going to do anything too heavy on the eyes. I'm going to go into my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I have fallen back in love with this palette. I'm obsessed. For that, I'm going to use my 75 tapered blending brush from Delium Tools, and we'll start off by dipping into the shade right here, White Chocolate, just to kind of smooth out any creasing and use that as our transition shade. And then I'm going to then use the same brush. I'm going to dip into the shade here, Salted Caramel. I'm basically just wanting to kind of contour the eyes a bit and just add just a hint of color. Salted Caramel is like my favorite. You know, my good friend Chantel, shout out to Chantel if she's watching this, which I'm sure she will. She's like one of my biggest fans and she's my friend, so obviously she supports me, but Every time I wear this shade, I think of her because her boyfriend got her this palette for Christmas last year, and my fiance also got me this palette for Christmas last year. It was kind of funny. We both ended up with it. But one day we were like talking about it, and we were like, what's your favorite shade? And she's like, salted caramel. I was like, oh my god, that's mine too. So obviously every time I dip into it, I think of her, and I'll even text her some days. I'm like, using salted caramel today. And she's like, me too. And I'm like, what do you know? I'm gonna go into a small tapered blending brush. Again, all these brushes I'm using are pretty much my Delium tool set, so I'm gonna stop saying that because it's getting repetitive. Number 783, I'm gonna dip into the shade Semi-Sweet right here. Or excuse me, Semi-Sweet right here. Pointed at Milk Chocolate. And I want to just pick up just a little bit of this and just focus it on the outer corner here just to add a little bit more depth. I like these matte shades in this palette because they're so not drying. Matte shadows can be very drying on the lid, and these just are not. So perfect for my dry skin days. And then using my finger, I'm gonna dip into the shade Marzipan and just put that all over my lid. I'm going to take this small angled shader brush, and I'm going to go in to the shade Milk Chocolate right here. I'm just going to drag this along the lower lash line. And then I want to just press something along the upper lash line. I'm going to go in with the 760 liner brush, and I'm going to dip into this shade here, which is Triple Fudge, and I'm just going to press that along the upper lash line just to kind of give it like a lined effect, but nothing too heavy. Just makes your lashes look fuller when you do this. Then you can kind of drag that out if you want to do like a little bit of a wing, but I'm just going to keep mine pretty basic. Anyone else's eyes water when they're trying to do their eye makeup? My eyes water so bad. It's not because I'm allergic to it, but I think it's like an anxious thing or something. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and move on to brows. I am loving the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Sculptor. I have mine in the shade Brunette. This just makes my brows just look so feathery, and the color is perfect. If you have a similar brow color to me, you need to try this. It is so good. I'm just kind of lightly drawing a line on the bottom just to give it some definition, just kind of using feathering motions. I'm not going to go too heavy on the brow. I just want to fill it in a bit. I want to leave kind of more of a natural look. I feel like my brows are like not my strong suit. That's like one of those things where I feel like I'm not that good at. I've gotten compliments on my brows before, and I'm like, thanks, because I don't think they're that good, but whatever, I'll take it. Right, now that we're sufficiently filled in, one cool thing about this is it actually has a wax end to it, so you can just use that and it sets everything and keeps it in place. And then last but not least, this is kind of an unnecessary step, but I do like to do it. I use this Tarte, I can barely read the words on it anymore, is the Colored Clay Tinted Brow Gel. You can actually use this on its own too if you want just like a very super natural look, but I like to do this too to just kind of final set it. Just adds just like a little bit of extra oomph to the brows. And then last but not least, let's move on to lashes. Of course, I'm going to curl mine. This lash curler is so freaking good. When I placed my first order with Shop Hush, they had like a free gift thing. I don't know if they still have that right now, but I think like this was free, but I think it's only like $2 or $4 or something. This is like one of the nicest eyelash curlers I've ever used. It like fits the shape of my eyes like perfectly. For mascara, I'm gonna be using the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I was obsessed with the Benefit Roller Lash, and I still am, but I forgot how much I love this one too. The brush on this is just so good. The way it like grabs your lashes just makes them look so full and thick without looking too gloopy. At least that's how I feel about it. I've heard some people say they don't like this mascara, but to each their own. I love it. And of course, you guys know the drill. My camera overheated like it always does. I really need to look into getting a different camera for when I'm filming these tutorials. Anyway, so I went ahead and finished up my mascara. I am actually kind of high maintenance right now. I'm gonna reach behind me and grab this because I actually am using 2 different mascaras consistently. I know that's kind of extreme, but whatever, I like it. I use the Better Than Sex or Roller Lash depending on my mood that day. On my upper lashes and on my bottom lashes, I've been using the Urban Decay Perversion. I actually hate this mascara for my upper lashes. It just doesn't do enough for me, but because the formula is thin and like the shape of the brush, it is so good for the lower lash line. Like it just makes my lower lashes look like separated and fluffy and long and dramatic. I love it. I really suggest it. I know, again, like I said, that's extra and it's just extra money to spend, but it works so good on the lower lashes. Let's go ahead and put something on the lips. I am loving the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. I picked this up from Sephora when I was in New York City. The smell of it is amazing. I know you guys have heard so much about this, but it's perfect for this look because it's illuminating and it just looks so nice on the lips. It gives like that perfect pop of color and it's just perfect for every day. It just makes the lips look, makes the lips look so hydrated and shiny and healthy. And last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off with some MAC Fix Plus. And there you have it. So that is my step-by-step tutorial for my everyday makeup routine for dry skin. Leave a comment in the comment section down below what your go-to faves are for dry skin. Also, you guys, I do want to film a get ready with me. I feel like I haven't filmed one in a really long time, and I kind of want to turn it into a Q&A. So leave me any questions you have down below. Keep it nice. Anything that you have questions beauty related, anything about me personally, whatever, leave those questions down below so I can film that video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you'll hit that subscribe button before you go, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Bye guys!